Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. Menghadap Duli Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Sri Sultan Perak Darul Ridzuan, Sultan Nazrin, Muizzuddin Shah, Ibni Almarhum Sultan Azlan, Muhibbuddin, Shah Al-Maghfur-Lah, ampun tuanku beribu-ribu ampun, sembah patik mohon diampun. Patik selaku Presiden Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman, mewakili seluruh warga UTAR dan Jawatan Kuasa Chem Science Asia 2017, dengan penuh hormat dan takzimnya, merafak sembah menjunjung setinggi-tinggi kasih atas limpah perkenan Duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku menjadi penaung diraja bagi Chem Science Asia serta bercemah Duli berangkat ke majlis pagi ini. Sesungguhnya keberangkatan Duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku ke majlis ini serta sokongan padu Tuanku, Patik dan seluruh warga jawatan kuasa KEM sangat-sangat menyanjung tinggi dan menghargainya. Ampun Tuanku. Patik mohon limpah perkenan Duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku untuk Patik meneruskan ucapan ini dalam bahasa Inggeris. Yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri Diraja Dr. Zamri bin Abdul Kadir, Menteri Besar Perak Darul Ridzuan, yang amat berbahagia orang kaya Bendahara Seri Maharaja Datuk Seri Diraja Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Zahidi bin Haji Zainuddin, yang berhormat Datuk Seri Ong Kah Chuan, the Second Minister of International Trade and Industry of Malaysia, yang berbahagia Engineer Academician Datuk Hong Lee P, Steering Committee Chairman of Asian Science Camp 2017, distinguished guests and speakers, camp participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman UTAR, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the dignitaries, Nobel laureates, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests and participants for gracing today's event. We are extremely honored with your presence in this beautiful and award-winning Kampar campus for this Asian Science Camp. I would also like to extend my appreciation to the Menteri Besar of Perak, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Diraja Dr. Zamri, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Ong Kah Chuan, Minister 2 of Ministry of International Trade and Industry, and Yang Berbahagia Professor Tan Sri Zakri Abdul Hamid, the Science Advisor to the Prime Minister of Malaysia, and the Perak Estate Exco members, and all the heads of the state's agency for supporting this Asia Science Camp 2017 with your presence here at this opening ceremony. Many of our guests and participants have in fact traveled from very far to be present here today. My thanks to everyone, including the steering committee and organizer of the Asia Science Camp. This 11th Asian Science Camp is held for the first time in Malaysia. This is indeed a very significant occasion. We are on the opening page of a promising new chapter in international cooperation and collaboration with regards to science, technology, engineering and mathematics or STEM education. This gathering of scholars and science-talented youth creates an opportunity for closer interaction and promotes international friendship among the best young minds of the next generation in Asia and more. We can use this event to discuss and examine in-depth issues close to our hearts and hopefully find common grounds for us to explore solutions that will benefit all of us and open doors to more exchanges that can elevate the awareness and interest among youth on the importance of STEM in nation building. This Asian Science Camp is the effort of the Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair organizers, consisting of Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman, the ASEAN Academy of Engineering and Technology, AAET, the Malaysian Industry-Government Group for High Technology, MIG, and the Institutions of Engineers Malaysia, IEM. Its main aim is to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematics interests among school-going children in Malaysia. This science camp is one of the many initiatives of the Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair, who works very closely with the Ministry of Education, schools, and institutions to implement strategies and conduct practical programs in support of STEM education. The participation of more than 250 international attendees from more than 30 economies and the attendance of Malaysian students and teachers from more than 40 schools is indeed heartening to know, and it reflects the keen interest among us in striving towards a common goal, that is to network, learn, and exchange notes on the challenges faced by us all as academics, teachers, and learners in STEM education. We are immensely grateful to have with us today Nobel laureates, medalists, technopreneurs, and scholars who have made the world a better place through their individual achievements and breakthroughs. UTAR is indeed proud to host these outstanding people whom we hope will inspire a new generation of youth to strive for a better country and a better world. There are many parents and young school children who have yet to fully understand the importance of STEM education, the prospects for STEM career, and the necessity for STEM knowledge for socio-economic development and nation building. Many surveys and researches by experts, including the United Nations, have indicated that around 80% of jobs in the next decade will require STEM knowledge and skills. In Malaysia, we need 60% of school and university students to pursue STEM in order to fulfill the nation's socio-economic development needs. Currently, only about 30% of upper secondary school children in Malaysia are enrolled in STEM. This declining interest in STEM is also an issue in most countries, not just in Asia. I'm sure that there are many lessons to be learned and many challenges to be overcome as we meet and share our views on the next few days. I hope the local and international participants in this science camp will gain a more profound insight into the benefits of STEM education. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time you visit Kampar, Perak State of Malaysia, please find some time to visit the interesting places here. You will certainly enjoy the scenery, the food, the biodiversity, and of course the hospitality of the people in Malaysia. Lastly, I would like to once again extend my sincere gratitude to His Royal Highness Duli Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Sri Sultan Nazrin Muizzuddin Shah, Datuk Sri Diraja Dr. Zamri, Datuk Sri Ong Kah Chuan, Professor Tan Sri Zakri, Engineer Datuk Hong, and all the speakers and participants for your support towards the Asian Science Fair. Ampun Tuanku. Sekian saja sempah ucapan Patik. Patik sekali lagi bagi pihak UTAR dan Jawatan Kuasa Camp Science Asia 2017 merafak sempah menjunjung setinggi-tinggi kasih di atas limpah perkenan Duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku sudi berangkat bercemah Duli ke Majlis Pembukaan Camp Science 2017 pada pagi ini. Ampun Tuanku, beribu-ribu ampun, sempah Patik, mohon diampun. Patik menjunjung kasih Tuanku.
Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera menghadap Duli Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Sri Sultan Perak Darul Ridzuan, Sultan Nazrin, Muizzuddin Shah, Ibni, Almarhum, Sultan Azlan, Muhibbuddin, Shah, Al-Maghfur-Lah. Ampun Tuanku, Patik mohon limpah perkenaan Duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku untuk Patik meneruskan ucapan di dalam bahasa Inggeris. Yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri Diraja Dr. Zamri, bin Abdul Qadir, the Menteri Besar of Perak, Malaysia. Yang amat berbahagia orang kaya Dahara Sri Maharaja Datuk Sri Diraja Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Zahidi bin Haji Zainuddin. Yang berhormat Datuk Sri Ong Kah Chuan, Second Minister of International Trade and Industry. Yang berbahagia Academician Professor Dr. Chua Hang Teck, President of UTAR and also President of ASEAN Academy of Engineering and Technology. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Zakri, Co-Chairman of MIND. Yang berbahagia Dr. Tan Yang Chin, President of IEM. They are all my co-organizers for the ASEAN 2017 Science Camp. Distinguished guests and speakers, camp participants, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a very good morning to all of you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome His Royal Highness Sultan Nazrin Muizzuddin Shah as a royal patron for the ASC 2017 to grace the opening ceremony. Also a warm welcome to all our distinguished international and local speakers and camp participants from 30 Asian economies to the 11 Asia Science Camp or ASC. Today is a very significant day for us as we kickstart the ASC, which for the first time is held in Malaysia. Special thanks to the organizing committee members headed by Professor Lee Si-wei. He is also the Vice President of UTAR, for making a great effort to ensure the smooth progression of the event and also in ensuring that all guests and participants feel comfortable here. A big thanks to all the sponsors in cash or in kind and the helpers for making the event possible. I would like to thank UTAR for kindly providing the venue and facilities for the camp. Last but not least, I must also thank ASEAN Academy of Engineering and Technology, the Institution of Engineers Malaysia, Malaysian Industry-Government Group for High Technology, and Universiti of Tunku Abdul Rahman, the co-organizer for Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair, to jointly host the 2017 Asia Science Camp. Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, when ASC was first organized in 2007, the aim was to enlighten science-talented youth through discussion and dialogue with top scholars in the world, and to promote the international friendship and cooperation among the best young students for the next generation in Asia. The objective remains, but looking deeper, especially now in the current digital age, better known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, where science and technology is strongly impacting society with computing power, connectivity, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology. Thus, not only we need to build students' interest in science, but must also develop their knowledge and skill to meet the demand of the fast-changing technology and the rapidly evolving economy. For this, we make some minor adjustments to the lecture program. Apart from having the top scholars, we also have invited captains of the industry to share their views and experience on the fast-changing trend in technology and economy with the camp participants. They are our Malaysian top technopreneurs specializing in plantation, manufacturing, construction, IT, and in digital fields. Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, in the last decade, our country has been facing the declining number of secondary students in science streams. We are deeply concerned over the waning interest in learning science, particularly in physics and math subjects. Over the last couple of years, we have implemented a number of programs and projects for enhancing primary and secondary school students in learning science. These include the annual Kuala Lumpur Engineering Science Fair, the annual National Science Technology Competition, conducting science or STEM talks and hands-on workshops in primary and secondary schools in East and West Malaysia. About 2.5 years ago, in a meeting to discuss ways for promoting science education, the principal of Sultan Chonghua High School, Dr. Sua Seng Zhang, suggested hosting the ASC. He believed ASC will help in creating the awareness of the importance of learning science. With Dr. Sua's assistance, we managed to solicit for hosting the ASC during the ASC 2015 in Bangkok. We'd like to thank all the international committee members, particularly the chairman, Professor MJ Dr. Ling, for granting to host the ASC 2017. To gain the maximum impact of ASC 2017, we also invite the nearby school students and the teachers and parents to attend the lectures delivered by the scholars and captains of the industry. Here, I would like to thank UTAR for providing this big hall to accommodate the non-camp participants. I hope this 1 week long Asia Science Camp 2017 not only help to arouse student interest in learning science, but also help to instill a strong sense of urgency to the teachers, parents, the industries, the policy makers of the necessity in strengthening the science education. Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy and we managed to persuade some additional teams to join the ASC for the first time. They are from Pakistan, Mauritius, Qatar, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Let us put our hands together to welcome them. I sincerely hope all participants will have a good time discussing, exchanging knowledge, and interacting with individuals of different cultural background. On behalf of the ASC 2017 Organizing Committee, the ASC International Committee, and the hosting organization, once again I would like to thank His Royal Highness present here today. Thank you and have a good day.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and to all our visitors from overseas. I bid you a very warm welcome to Perak and to Malaysia. I am very happy to be here this morning at the opening of this prestigious event, which gathers together the best young science minds from around our region and exposes them to discussion and debate and to learning from some of the world's finest senior scientists, which include distinguished scholars and Nobel laureates, among whom I feel very honored to be speaking today. This is an extremely exciting time to be a young scientist, as you are, in the many areas covered under the rubric of STEM. It may possibly even be the most exciting time ever to be a scientist, as ever more astounding advances are being made in so many fields. science fiction is becoming science fact as flying cars and bionic limbs become a reality. And advances in artificial intelligence and robotization are pushing boundaries in directions that are both expected and unpredictable. The speed and extent of change is such that some futurists believe that we are reaching an historical tipping point which will transform our world beyond recognition. This creates extraordinary opportunities for the world and for yourselves as both the beneficiaries and architects of some of these advances. Some of you here attending this camp may well go on to shape some of these revolutionary technologies. But the acceleration of technological change also presents major challenges for us all as we navigate through this turbulent and unpredictable world. Advances in artificial intelligence, robotization, and biotechnology are already allowing innovations such as genetically modified insects and artificially enhanced or manipulated humans. These are very welcome for their medical and humanitarian contributions. But such developments also raise deep and challenging questions about even what it means to be human. Beyond such difficult philosophical questions lie the more immediate and equally challenging issues of the future of work and the workplace in an era of increasingly capable AI and robotics. The impacts of recent advances will probably be felt most quickly in this area, driven by the economic logic of investment for profit. This area also has very direct implications for yourselves, whose working lives may look very different from those of previous generations. This transformation of employment patterns will also have broader political implications as society tries to adapt to the new realities. The economy will continue to evolve regardless, along with technological innovation. There are many dire predictions of the likely impact of the coming wave of technological change on employment and the workplace. One study suggests that at least 50% of 700 different current job categories may be fully automated in the coming years. At the same time, large productivity gains will be generated by the new technologies in the same process of value added through specialization described centuries ago by the economist Adam Smith. But the costs and the benefits of the coming transformation are unlikely to be evenly distributed. And this could continue, and this could contribute to worsening inequality. Combined with mass unemployment, this could result in political and social upheaval on a massive scale, as depicted in dystopian science fiction movies. It is also here, however, in the social and political realm that we can work to influence these technological and scientific advances and regulate them effectively. In this way, we can help to ensure that their power is exploited for the greater good. Scientists such as you can and should play an important role in this area of policy development and the regulation of scientific and technological advances. By applying your specialized knowledge, it can help to ensure that these advances are effectively controlled and managed for the benefit of all. A useful contribution can also be made by transnational scientific exchanges and debates, including gatherings such as this one. The challenges presented by these coming changes must be examined more closely and discussed more openly. The more we understand what is happening, the better we can control it and channel it effectively. High quality and more widespread education in the STEM fields is a central aspect of this process. Critical thinking and problem-solving skills, along with creativity, will only become more important. It is in this area of the economic and political impacts of technological change that I want to focus my remarks today, looking particularly at the world of work and of employment. This area highlights some of the more radical ways in which these changes could play out. The transformation of the workplace will affect the whole range of jobs, from blue to white collar. Many careers that require years of specialist training, such as yourself would want to do, are now within the reach of AI software, especially when combined with advancing robotics. These growing abilities of artificial intelligence are due in part to what is called machine learning or deep learning. This type of software was developed by IBM for its Watson AI to play and win the US television game Jeopardy. It is now being applied in many ways. Deep learning software works by scanning large amounts of big data and making statistical judgments about the best response within the given parameters. It is designed to learn from its own performance, improving its responses as it processes ever-increasing amounts of data at ever-increasing speeds. Such programs can thus scan whole bodies of health or legal data, for example, in order to deliver the most relevant and accurate answer to a question. They can then perfect their responses until the task has been mastered. This process is modeled on similar complex feedback mechanisms in the brain itself, or neural networks. These are far more complex than the AI models, of course, and have only themselves become better understood recently due to significant advances in neurobiology. These, in turn, have been driven by improved laser, imaging, and other technologies. This example shows how improvements in different fields are highly interdependent with progress in one area helping to unlock the potential in others. Moore's law, which states that computing power doubles every 2 years, now applies in a number of fields. Deep learning has already contributed to major advances in the area of so-called natural language abilities. Until very recently, AI had not been able to master some language skills effectively. But deep learning and the use of neural networks have allowed rapid progress in voice and language recognition and interpretation. Accurate and instantaneous translation is now possible in multiple languages. This advance will in turn boost the development of programs able to recognize and respond to human inquiries and ultimately to conduct conversations. This is a genuinely disruptive advance in the communication abilities of machines and humans. Language barriers will literally soon become something of the past. This growing mastery of natural language has greatly increased the range of jobs that AI can now do, to include many roles that require interaction with people. This is in addition, of course, to the many functions that involve working with data. As one more pessimistic futurist put it, software will eventually invade every workplace and swallow up nearly any white-collar job that involves sitting in front of a computer manipulating information. Driven by economic imperatives, more and more tasks will be condensed into a computer program and outsourced to an AI-powered machine. This will affect a huge number of jobs across all functions and sectors. This includes many STEM fields, from computer technology itself to laboratory-based scientific work. Deep learning is itself a form of pure science, with its careful repetition and rigorous analysis of volumes of data according to predefined parameters and objectives. One groundbreaking AI program named Eureka was described by its creator as being able to figure out something in a few hours that could previously have taken a scientist's whole career. The medical sector will also be deeply affected as human tasks are reassigned to machines. AI and robots already match and in some cases outperform humans in many areas, from surgery to diagnostics. These technologies will also create new opportunities, of course. This includes the many programmers and coders required to design, set up, and operate AI software. Deep learning software is highly labor-intensive. Completely new roles will also be created, such as what might be called medical engineers, for example, to put together the complex parts of a bionic eye or limb. But obsolescence is also built in. Ratios of one technician to 20,000 machines from a few years ago are already out of date. The billion-dollar data centers that power all this technology are operated by tiny workforces. Humans are currently still required to direct and oversee AI and the machines on which it runs, but this could also change in the future. Vast numbers of blue-collar, service sector, and more physical work functions will also be replaced by a combination of AI and increasingly advanced robots. This is a continuation of much longer-term processes of mechanization dating back to the Industrial Revolution. But this area is also experiencing dramatic transformations as long-standing challenges are finally being overcome. Some human movements that had proved very difficult to replicate, such as the fine motor skills necessary to pick up a grape, are now being performed by artificial limbs. This will allow new leaps forward to be made with implications for all jobs involving repetitive physical tasks. This again will be experienced across the whole range of functions and sectors. Some of the advances in this area have been driven forward by a remarkable fusion of scientific, medical, and humanitarian impulses. This can be seen in the bionic AI-powered limbs that have been developed by scientists who are themselves amputees and Paralympians. Deep learning programs provide the mechanism that connects these artificial limbs to the human brain. This modeling of neural networks again relies on our growing understanding of neurobiology. Advances in other areas of robot engineering have also contributed, themselves driven by rapid progress in different fields, from lasers to nanotechnology to batteries. The combination of advances in different fields in this way adds up to far more than the sum of its parts, with progress in one area greatly boosting the possibilities in others, as mentioned. This process is highly unpredictable, however. A good example of how disruptive such advances may be for the workplace is provided by the transport sector. This example also highlights how difficult it is to weigh up the likely positive and negative impacts of technological change. This sector has recently experienced accelerating advances in a number of areas, which cannot but lead to radical change. On the one hand, are self-driving cars, which combine advanced engineering with the deep learning abilities of artificial intelligence. On the other hand, are advances in electric and other alternative fuel vehicles, which have themselves benefited from recent progress in areas from batteries to materials. These advances promise, or perhaps threaten, depending on your viewpoint, to transform the transport sector beyond recognition. The changes are so radical that some industry insiders believe that the car industry in its current form will cease to exist in as little as 2 decades. Millions of jobs worldwide are likely to disappear in car manufacturing itself and the many related activities. But the potential gains are also huge, from the expected greatly increased convenience and affordability of transport to a reduction in the use of fossil fuels. Even the way that cities look and feel will change significantly due to the space that will be freed up once cars are no longer owned en masse. Instead of being stuck in traffic jams, we may get around in super fast hyperloops, as are already being planned by visionary entrepreneur Elon Musk and others. Some believe that the benefits from the coming transformation will be experienced most deeply in these more indirect and unpredictable ways. Futurists such as Brian Johnson and McAfee from MIT believe that the current advances in AI and other areas may provide as great a mental boost to humanity as the physical one we gained from the inventions of the Industrial Revolution. They also view a move away from current employment patterns as something fundamentally liberating for humankind. The wealth generated as the production frontier is pushed out by technological change to vast and unprecedented levels can then be used to support the pursuit of higher goals as people no longer need to work for a living. Such an outcome depends on effective control and management of the new technologies and the wealth they create, to ensure that this is used for the greater good rather than contributing to more inequality. This is why policy making, regulation, and education, especially in STEM fields, are also important. The choices we make now in these areas can help shape and determine how these processes play out. This requires far greater public and policy discussions of all the relevant issues, including the more challenging aspects related to control and regulation. It is difficult to strategize about an unknown future, but there must be now far greater public analysis and debate about different future scenarios and their implications. There are a growing number of initiatives in this area of future watching, as supply responds to demand, and such effort must now be scaled up and magnified. Substantial investment in education in STEM fields must also become an urgent priority in order to ensure that this analysis and debate is underpinned by well-informed and critical approaches. As we look forward into an uncertain future, we can also learn from the lessons of history. The story of our recent past is one of previously undreamt of human progress due to scientific and technological advance, however uneven and incomplete. Life expectancy has tripled since the Industrial Revolution, while the lives of hundreds of millions have been significantly improved even in the past few decades. This longer historical perspective demonstrates just how far we have come. It also highlights the central role that has been played by political and social institutions in ensuring that the benefits have been spread as widely as they have. As scientist and historian Steven Pinker puts it, these gifts of progress are the result of the institutions and norms entrenched in the last 2 centuries. These institutions and norms include reason, science, education, regulation, democracy, and human rights. We must now ensure that the even more amazing gains that are likely to be made this century are also managed effectively and for the greater good. This is possible through these same means, the institutions and norms of our modern world. It is therefore incumbent upon all of us, whether as scientists, academics, educators, or economists, to work to strengthen further these institutions and norms. In this way, they will be able to continue to play their vital roles in regulating and channeling change into a positive direction. Thank you.